Hey everyone, it's Riley. Welcome back for another bullet journaling video. Today I'm going to be setting up February in my bullet journal, and I am absolutely in love with how it turned out. I chose a really random theme, and at first I wasn't really sure how I was going to make it work to fit like my journal aesthetic, but the theme is dinosaurs. Go ahead, grab your markers. I also used a little bit of like scrap paper, and this stuff I actually got from inside like running shoes. My husband got like Adidas running shoes for Christmas, and so I just used the stuffing paper from in there. It's kind of a grayish craft paper, and so I used a little bit of that, obviously some glue to hold it down, and then I just used my Crayola Super Tips and some fine liners. So if you want to plan along with me, you can go ahead and get those supplies. And if you were with me in my January planning video, you'll remember that I introduced a really special giveaway that I'm so excited for. And so at the end of this video, after I'm done setting up my own bullet journal for February, I'll give you a little update on where that giveaway is at. Super exciting news, I actually got Instagram on January 1st. I have never used Instagram in my entire life. Like, I've never even had a personal account. And so honestly, I was just really nervous to start Instagram for my bullet journal, even though I got lots of questions and comments about that. So I finally decided to do it as part of my sort of 2021 New Year's like goals, resolutions, whatever you want to call them. And so I started that on January. So if you haven't followed me there yet, I'll definitely have that linked below too. And if you do decide to recreate any of my journal spreads, I would love to see them. So please feel free to tag me in those. So let's jump in and plan February. So since I wanted to use some of that sort of grayish scrap paper that I mentioned, I decided to do more of a collage look, and instead of just drawing all the dinosaurs straight into my journal, I decided to sort of make them into stickers. I'm not going to actually like use packing tape and parchment paper to make stickers like I often do, but instead I'm just going to draw them and cut them out. And so you can see I'm just drawing some really basic dinosaur shapes in these two colors of my Crayola Super Tips. So I do, as I mentioned, like to make stickers like that, where I like do little doodles and then use parchment paper and packing tape to turn them into stickers. So if you're curious about that, if that kind of sparks some interest in you, I will link a video above of me doing that. So as you can see, I made these like really simple dinosaur shapes, and I'm just outlining them with my fine liner, adding some spikes to like their necks and backs and things like that. And each of these dinosaurs will be a little bit unique. So one of my favorite things to do is just draw very basic shapes and then add different white gel pen designs. So that's essentially what my jellyfish theme is. If you've seen any of my custom bullet journal flip throughs, you know I do this one jellyfish theme really often. And it's basically this, drawing a shape, in this case a dinosaur, and just using white gel pen to make them stand out and look unique. So each of these has a different design in white gel pen. It also would definitely work in black gel pen, or just black pen. That's actually how I did it the first time. I did kind of like a little trial run of these dinosaurs because I've never doodled a dinosaur before. And I thought it was super cute with the black. So if you don't have access to a white gel pen, definitely just do it with a black gel pen, or even a different color of marker. If you have it in fine tip, would work well too. So I know dinosaurs seems like kind of a random theme, but it's actually something that I've wanted to do in my bullet journal for quite a long time. I just like didn't know how, and then all the winter months hit and I wanted to do more like cozy wintry themes, like my skiing and ski lodge theme. And so I decided to kind of hold off on this one for a bit until I came up with a strategy that I was happy with. So I've been thinking about this one a lot, and I finally came up with a way that I want to do it that I think will fit in my bullet journal, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it too. So I don't usually add this like mini calendar to my title page, but I've seen it in a lot of different journal spreads on like Pinterest and Instagram, and I think it's just kind of a cute addition to the title page. It's not super practical for me. It's just kind of there for the aesthetic and not necessarily like the usefulness. So if that's not up your alley, you can find something else to put in the middle of your page as well. So behind it, as you can see, I'm using this really light gray. You honestly can hardly even see it in the camera, but it's there. It's this really light gray marker to make like a grid. So I've done grids in the background before, but mostly in black, and I've made it look kind of like, you know, like one of those boards that some people have up. Instead of like a bulletin board, they just have like this black or gold grid, and they can clip different like quotes or a calendar or whatever onto there. So that's kind of what I've done in the past with just a black pen, but this time I decided to do it in gray. I've seen that in a few different bullet journal spreads that I've seen on Instagram lately, so I decided to give that a try. And I'm not sure who gets the credit for that idea because I don't know who did it first, But one person who I saw using this technique was Veronica over on Instagram, and so I'll link her account in the description below in case you want to check out her interpretation of this sort of light gray grid. So you can see I pasted on some of that, I don't know if I can call it even craft paper. It's more like tissue paper that I got out of those Adidas runners. I pasted that on, I pasted on my little dinosaurs, and if you want to do a similar spread to this, but you don't like the dinosaur idea, you want to do something else, you can absolutely do that. You can use stickers that you already have, or you can doodle just little anything to paste on top of there. I think something like little clouds would work well, or little stars or planets, or there are so many different options. So I pasted all of that on, and then in the background I just added some little like dinosaur footprints, some little squiggles, and some sparkles with a fine liner. So I've got my title page on the right, and on the left this year I've been using these pages to track my memories. So bullet journaling kind of serves two main purposes for me, I guess maybe three. Number one, it's really practical. I'm a huge planner, and so I love having a place to plan those things out. Number two, I just find them so aesthetically pleasing and like enjoyable, you know, like I find it so relaxing to just sit down and bullet journal. And number three, I am so sentimental. Like I love collecting memories and just like being able to look back on times gone by. And so that's kind of one of the reasons that I bullet journal in the first place. So I decided to include those monthly memories pages instead of just doing it on a yearly scale as I've done in the past. So now that I'm done those first two pages, I'm moving on to my calendar, and I'm carrying over that sort of grid look from the cover by making a loose grid calendar. I usually don't do my calendars like this, but I decided to try something new. Initially, I was going to do it in the light gray, but you could hardly see it. So I decided to do it in that darker sort of blue gray that I used for some of my dinosaurs. Now for the font that I've been using, you can see that I'm basically just doing a plain old lowercase printed font. I am thickening up my downstrokes, and one thing that I've been doing to add a bit of depth to my lettering is just taking the same color and going over the top or the bottom, just either or. In my case, the top of the letter and extra time with that color. So I'm not doing any blending or bringing in other colors or fancy brushes. I'm just using that same green and going over the top part. And then what I did is kind of add a drop shadow just by adding a thin black line to all of the right sides of the letters, not to the left. And finally, I'm going in with a white gel pen over top and just adding a little shine by adding some vertical lines going down each of the downstrokes. So that's the font for this month. Now over on the side of the calendar here, you can see I've got my YouTube tracker. So I usually post videos every Tuesday and Friday. So I just wrote in the dates of every Tuesday and Friday in February, and then left a line to write down which video I'm posting that day. And below this, I've been doing sort of a goals section. I'm not really sure if goals is the right word. It's more of just like a focus. So I have a focus for the month, for the first week, second week, third week, and so on. So that's my monthly calendar page. The next sort of two-page spread here is one of my favorites. I just find it super practical for me to include something like this at the beginning of the month. So the first page here, as you can tell, is for tasks. So this is where I'm going to write down especially like cleaning tasks and habits that I want to focus on. So if you've watched my 2021 setup video, you know that I made a whole like cleaning tracker in there, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to keep track of like when I cleaned each of the things. So I decided to kind of do that more on a monthly scale. And while I set up this tasks page, I reference back to that page that I made in my yearly setup so that I can see which of my monthly cleaning tasks I should do this month, which of the sort of tasks that I do every 2 to 6 months I should add into this month, and things like that. So that's what I've got up here. I've got my weekly chores like sweeping and doing laundry and cleaning the bathroom, and then below there I've got things that I want to do once a month, and I'm just going to color those circles in on the weeks that I do those things. So kind of like a habit tracker. For the weekly tasks, the goal is obviously to color in all of the circles, and for the monthly ones, I just want to color it in so I know when in the month I did that thing, so that next month I can see exactly how long it's been since I did that task. So below there, I've just got some habits. I want to get better about like stretching and doing some of my physio exercises and things like that. And then on the other side, I've got a place for my main YouTube tasks of the month, my main Etsy tasks, and other. And so I did write Etsy and other with white gel pen. As you can see, it did not show up well the first time. So I am going to go back and sort of add a second layer of white gel pen once I finish this next page. So the next page here is sort of a check-in page, like how I'm doing, what I'm thankful for, things I'm learning, and things like that. So I decided to keep going with that sort of backdrop that I used on the title page and make these sort of sticky note like things that are just fake taped onto the background. So again, if you watched my 2021 setup video, I still don't have washi tape, but I get by. I just made these little like marker stripes that look like washi tape, and in these little sticky notes I'm just writing different headings, so for things that I'm enjoying, things that I'm thankful for, and things that I'm feeling. So I really like having just like a monthly check-in page because personally I do like to journal, like just reflective journaling, talking about the ways that I'm feeling, but I don't like to do that in my bullet journal. I find that when I do that, I get disappointed in like the changes in my journal, you know, how it just goes from like one really aesthetically pleasing page to just like a messy writing page. I don't really like that. So I've moved all of that to a different journal, but I do still like to have these little just quick check-ins with myself where I can just put like point form how I'm doing, what I'm thankful for, and things like that. So that's what this little page is for. Again, I've got that grid in the background. I added a little dinosaur to the corner and the same font just to write the title. This month I'm ... enjoying, thankful for, and feeling. Final spread that we'll set up today is my first weekly spread for February, and I've been playing around with a bunch of different weeklies lately, and I've kind of found things that work for me, but it just kind of annoys me because the thing that works for me the best doesn't fit onto just a 2-page spread, so I can't see it all at once, and I really like to be able to see it all at once. So in February I decided to try something different, see if that kind of replaces my current system or not. But so basically what I'm doing is putting 6 boxes on this side of the page for all the days of the week. The weekend is just combined, and again I'm putting that onto the grid backdrop that I've been using all over this spread lately, and then the other side is going to be kind of my weekly dashboard with like the morning routine that I want to follow, the evening routine I want to follow, the tasks I want to complete, my focus for the week, my meals, all of that will go on the other side. So I'm hoping that this will be a helpful spread for me. And of course, I'm just decorating it by doing some really simple like dinosaur footprints and that cute little dinosaur using, again, my white gel pen and a black fine liner just around the edges. So like I said, this is the last spread in this Plan With Me video. And so I just want to briefly talk about the giveaway. So I mentioned this in my January video, but since I make custom bullet journals, which I sell on Etsy, I decided to make a custom bullet journal for one of you guys. And I think it's going to be a really special one because it's going to mirror my journal. So this custom bullet journal that I'm giving away is for 2022, and it will have all the same setups as my journal. So it's got my paint roller theme for the yearly spreads, it's got my ski lodge theme for January, and it will have this dinosaur theme for February. So I'm not going to give you guys a full flip through in this video, but I did just want to show you how the monthly cover page turned out for February so that you can see it and maybe get excited about it, because I know I'm really excited about it. I've never done a giveaway before, and this one is just so special to me because I love making custom bullet journals, and I think this will be a really fun thing for me to do throughout the year. So as you can see, my weekly is really taking shape here. I've got a spot for my morning and evening routines, which is just symbolized by a little rising sun and a moon, and then a spot for my meals, and below there I've got a tasks list and a spot to select which day of the week I want to do that task on. So let's do a real quick flip through of this spread here. I've got my dinosaur themed title page, which I think is so precious, my monthly calendar with my YouTube layout and my goals for the month, my tasks list, my sort of emotional, mental check-in, and my first weekly of the month. And now here is the bullet journal that I'll be giving away. It's this beautiful light gray color. I absolutely love it. And here is the February theme that one of you guys will be using in 2022. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed setting up February with this cute little dinosaur theme. If you did, and if you decide to recreate it, please tag me over on Instagram, and I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video.